After the wedding, everything seemed perfect, but soon she realized she was living a nightmare disguised as love. The man she dreamed of building a life with betrayed her in ways she never imagined. During their honeymoon, he flirted with a hotel employee by the pool, and that was just the first of many actions that started to destroy their relationship. But what no one knew, not even her, was that this behavior would lead to an even more devastating revelation. What happens when the person you love the most turns into a complete stranger? You'll find out everything now, and you won't believe the end of this story. Stay until the end and find out how she had the courage to change her life forever. What would you do if you were in her shoes? Veronica and Daniel had married the previous year, after what was considered a perfect relationship. Their honeymoon at a tropical resort seemed like the dream come true. But instead of romance and happiness, what should have been the beginning of a new phase quickly turned into a nightmare. During a sunny afternoon by the pool, while Veronica was sunbathing, she noticed that Daniel, the man she loved, was shamelessly flirting with a hotel employee, a woman who was just doing her job. He looked at her in a way Veronica had never seen before. His gaze was more than kind. It was full of attraction. At that moment, Veronica didn't know whether to feel anger, shame, or just a deep sadness. She tried to convince herself that she was overreacting, that maybe it was just a moment of distraction. But when he walked away to have a drink with her, without caring about his wife's presence, a wave of doubt flooded Veronica's heart. She kept it to herself, fearing she was being too dramatic. But something inside her started to break. In the following months, Daniel's behavior only worsened. During a dinner at an elegant restaurant, while Veronica was distracted, she noticed, for the 5th time that week, that he was continuously exchanging glances with a woman at the table next to them. The glances were intense, full of interest, and she couldn't ignore the growing discomfort she felt. Once again, Veronica tried not to believe what she was seeing. But what hurt her the most wasn't just the flirting, it was Daniel's lack of consideration for her. He was so immersed in his own fun that he didn't seem to care about the pain he was causing. When Veronica finally confronted Daniel, he coldly denied it. "I was just paying attention to her conversation." "You're overreacting, Veronica," he said, with no remorse. Veronica withdrew to the restaurant's bathroom, her chest tight, the tears choked in her throat. What she was living wasn't a marriage, it was an emotional prison. The night ended in silence. Veronica knew something inside Daniel was dead, but she still wanted to believe he could change. But the pain became more unbearable with each passing day. The situation at home didn't improve either. Negative comments started to surface frequently. Daniel began to criticize her appearance, her eating choices, and even her self-esteem. It all started with a subtle remark during dinner. "You've been eating too much lately, Veronica. You're starting to get chubby." The impact of those words was devastating. Veronica had always struggled with her weight, but she never expected the person she trusted and loved to hurt her this way. He kept going, insinuating that she needed to lose weight, that she wasn't taking care of herself enough. With each criticism, Veronica sank deeper into a hole of sadness. Daniel's words echoed in her mind, day after day. She felt her body and soul being torn apart. Not only was the marriage falling apart, but she was losing herself as well. The situation worsened on her own birthday. During the party with friends and family, Daniel, without ceremony, blurted out in front of everyone, "Are you really going to eat that? Don't you think you've eaten enough for today?" Shame consumed her instantly. Her friends and family were silent, but she could feel the weight of everyone's gaze on her. Her mother, noticing the sadness that had overtaken her daughter, pulled her aside. "You need to seek help, my daughter. This relationship isn't doing you any good." Her mother's words hit her hard. Veronica was in an emotional abyss, and what hurt the most was that she felt like no one, not even the man she loved, understood or respected her. Over time, Veronica began to realize that Daniel was not who she thought he was. The love she once felt for him was transforming into something dark, suffocating. The lies, the betrayals, the constant criticisms, all of this was destroying the woman she was. She didn't want to live in this cycle of pain and humiliation anymore. But at the same time, she felt paralyzed. How could she break free from a relationship that seemed to be her only anchor, even though that anchor was sinking her deeper and deeper? Then, with the unconditional support of her mother and friends, Veronica found the strength to make the hardest decision of her life, to separate. It wasn't easy. The sleepless nights, the feeling of failure, the pain of realizing that the man she married was never who she imagined, all of that nearly destroyed her. But slowly, Veronica began to rebuild herself. The separation was the first step in recovering her self-esteem, confidence, and happiness. With the support of her family and friends, Veronica found the strength to start over. She learned that sometimes it's necessary to distance yourself from those who don't respect you in order to find peace. The road wasn't easy, but Veronica knew she deserved more. And she finally found what she had been searching for: freedom and the chance to be happy again. Veronica looked back at her relationship with Daniel and asked herself, what did I learn from this? She knew that the path of separation was painful, but she also knew it was the best thing she had done for herself. Self-love and respect began to rebuild from the moment she walked away from everything that caused her pain. It wasn't easy, but in the end, she discovered she was stronger than she ever imagined. True happiness, she learned, begins when you put yourself first.